In a quiet village wrapped in misty mornings and golden sunsets, lived an old woman named Mira. Her hair was silver, her hands wrinkled like folded stories, and her cottage smelled of warm tea and jasmine oil. Mira had lived a full life. She had loved deeply, laughed often, and lost enough to understand the weight of silence. Her children were grown, the house was quiet, and her days passed in gentle routines. But something tugged at her heart, a feeling she hadn't fulfilled her true purpose yet. Every evening she would sit on the porch with a threadbare shawl and watch the village children play, their joy lighting up her eyes. But behind her gentle smile was a storm of self-doubt. "What difference did I ever make?" she whispered into the wind. One chilly morning, a boy named Arav knocked on her door. He was 7, shy, and often mocked because he stuttered. He had no friends, and his parents were too busy to notice the loneliness creeping into his tiny heart. Mira invited him in without a word and poured him warm milk. She didn't ask questions, she just listened. That day turned into 2, then 10, then every day. She taught him to speak not just with his voice, but with his eyes, his hands, and his courage. They laughed, painted, told stories, and planted tulips. Slowly, Arav's stutter faded, not because it disappeared, but because he learned that his voice mattered anyway. Years passed. Mira's hair turned to clouds, her steps slower, but her spirit? Fiercer than ever. One morning, she didn't come to the porch. The village knew. At her funeral, hundreds gathered. Mothers, fathers, old men, and dozens of children, all holding tulips. Arav, now a confident young teacher, stood before them. He held up a small notebook, filled with Mira's words, sketches, and affirmations. She didn't have gold. She didn't build empires, but she rebuilt people, one broken heart at a time, and I was her first brick. He smiled through tears. She thought she gave nothing, but she gave me everything. And in that moment, the village realized the greatest gifts aren't loud. They bloom silently in someone else's life.